Hi guys, today we are going over Iran. Enjoy. Persian Empire. The Achaemenid Empire, often called the Persian Empire, was one of the largest empires in ancient history. Founded by Cyrus the Great around 550 BCE, it stretched from the Balkans and Egypt to Central Asia and the Indus Valley. The empire was known for its efficient administration, extensive road network, and policy of allowing many conquered peoples to keep their own religions and customs. Its capital at Persepolis remains one of the world's most important archaeological sites. Persian Gulf. The Persian Gulf is a body of water in Western Asia that connects to the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea through the Strait of Hormuz. It is bordered by Iran to the north and by Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, and Oman. The Persian Gulf is one of the world's most important regions for oil and natural gas production and is a major route for global energy shipments. It has been a center of trade and maritime activity for thousands of years. Mount Damavand. Mount Damavand is the highest mountain in Iran, rising to about 5,610 meters above sea level. It is a potentially active stratovolcano located in the Alborz, northeast of Tehran. Mount Damavand is famous for its snow-covered peak, volcanic features such as hot springs and fumaroles, and its prominence in Persian mythology and literature. It is one of the most popular destinations for mountaineers in the Middle East. Iran War. The 2026 Iran War began on February 28, 2026, when the United States and Israel launched coordinated strikes against Iran, leading to a wider regional conflict. Iran responded with missile and drone attacks on Israel, U.S. bases, and shipping in and around the Strait of Hormuz, disrupting regional security and global energy markets. The fighting involved heavy airstrikes, retaliatory attacks, and diplomatic efforts by countries including Oman and Qatar to negotiate ceasefires. Although temporary agreements were reached, fighting and tensions continued, with negotiations repeatedly breaking down. As of July 2026, the conflict remains volatile. Tehran. Tehran is the capital and largest city of Iran, with a metropolitan population of over 15 million people. Located at the foot of the Alborz, it serves as the country's political, economic, and cultural center. Tehran is home to major landmarks such as Azadi Tower, Milad Tower, and Golistan Palace. Founded as the capital in 1796 under the Qajar dynasty, the city has grown into one of the largest urban centers in the Middle East. Persepolis. Persepolis was the ceremonial capital of the Achaemenid Empire, located near modern-day Shiraz in Iran. It was founded by Darius the Great around 518 BCE and later expanded by his successors. The city is renowned for its grand palaces, monumental staircases, detailed stone carvings, and impressive columns that reflect the power and diversity of the Persian Empire. In 330 BCE, Persepolis was captured and burned during the campaign of Alexander the Great. Persian rugs. Persian rugs are handmade carpets originating from Iran and are renowned for their craftsmanship, intricate patterns, and high-quality materials. They are traditionally woven from wool, silk, or a combination of both, often featuring floral motifs, medallions, and geometric designs. Different regions, such as Tabriz, Isfahan, Kashan, and Qom, are known for distinctive weaving styles and patterns. The art of Persian carpet weaving has been practiced for centuries and is recognized as an important part of Iran's cultural heritage. Ali Khamenei assassination. On February 28, 2026, Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, was assassinated in Tehran as part of a series of Israeli airstrikes aimed at high-ranking Iranian officials. Khamenei's death was confirmed by the Iranian government on March 1st. His death occurred as part of a wider joint operation by the United States and Israel, using strategic locations, intelligence from the U.S.'s Central Intelligence Agency to determine the whereabouts of several leaders. Xerxes I. Xerxes I, also known as Xerxes the Great, ruled the Achaemenid Empire from 486 BCE to 465 BCE. He was the son of Darius the Great and is best known for leading the Second Persian invasion of Greece in 480 BCE. During this campaign, Persian forces won the Battle of Thermopylae, but were later defeated at the Battle of Salamis and the Battle of Plataea. Xerxes also continued major building projects at Persepolis, expanding its palaces and ceremonial structures. The Safavid Empire. The Safavid Empire was one of the most important empires in Iranian history, ruling from 1501 to 1736. It was founded by Ismail I, who established Twelver Shia Islam as the state religion, a decision that has had a lasting influence on Iran. Under Abbas the Great, the empire reached its greatest strength, expanding trade, reforming the military, and making Isfahan a magnificent capital. The Safavids were renowned for their achievements in architecture, art, carpet weaving, and commerce. The empire declined in the early 18th century, and officially ended in 1736, when Nader Shah established the Afsharid dynasty. Cyrus the Great. Cyrus the Great was the founder of the Achaemenid Empire, and ruled from about 559 BCE to 530 BCE. He united the Persian tribes and created one of the largest empires the ancient world had seen, stretching from the Middle East to Central Asia. Cyrus is remembered for his relatively tolerant approach toward conquered peoples, allowing many groups to maintain their customs and religions. The Cyrus cylinder is often associated with his policies of governance, though historians debate its exact meaning and significance. Sassanran. The Sasanian Empire was the last major pre-Islamic Persian empire, ruling from 224 to 651 CE. It was founded by Ardashir I, who overthrew the Parthian Empire and established a centralized Persian state. The Sassanians controlled much of modern-day Iran, Iraq, and surrounding regions, and were major rivals of the Roman Empire and later the Byzantine Empire. The empire is known for its achievements in architecture, art, science, and the promotion of Zoroastrianism as the state religion. 1979 Revolution. The Iranian Revolution was a major political uprising that led to the overthrow of Mohammad Reza Pahlavi in 1979 and the creation of the Islamic Republic of Iran. The revolution was driven by opposition to the Shah's rule, including concerns about political repression, inequality, Western influence, and economic issues. Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini became the leading figure of the new government after returning from exile in February 1979. A nationwide referendum later established the Islamic Republic, replacing the monarchy with a theocratic system. Darius I. Darius I, also known as Darius the Great, was one of the most powerful rulers of the Achaemenid Empire, ruling from 522 BCE to 486 BCE. He expanded the empire to its greatest territorial extent, stretching from the Balkans and Egypt to the Indus Valley. Darius organized the empire into provinces called satrapies, improved taxation, and developed the royal road to strengthen communication and trade. He also began major construction projects at Persepolis and supported the creation of the Behistun inscription, which recorded his rise to power. Islamic conquest. The Islamic conquests were a series of military expansions by early Muslim states during the 7th and 8th centuries following the rise of Islam. After the death of Muhammad in 632 CE, the Rashidun Caliphate expanded rapidly across the Middle East, North Africa, Persia, and parts of Central Asia. Muslim armies defeated major powers such as the Sasanian Empire and took large territories from the Byzantine Empire. These conquests spread Islam and Arabic culture, while also creating new political and trade networks across 3 continents. Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. Mohammad Reza Pahlavi was the last monarch of Iran, ruling as Shah from 1941 to 1979. He came to power during World War II after his father, Reza Shah Pahlavi, was forced to abdicate. His reign included rapid modernization programs known as the White Revolution, which expanded education, industry, and infrastructure. However, his government faced criticism over political repression, inequality, and close relations with Western powers, especially the United States. The Parthian Empire. The Parthian Empire was a major Iranian empire that ruled much of the Middle East from 247 BCE to 224 CE. It was founded by Arsaces I and was governed by the Arsacid dynasty. The Parthians became famous for their skilled cavalry, especially heavily armored cataphracts and horse archers, and for the Parthian shot, a tactic of firing arrows while retreating on horseback. They were longtime rivals of the Roman Empire and successfully defended their territory in numerous wars. Ruhollah Khomeini. Ruhollah Khomeini was an Iranian religious leader who led the Iranian Revolution that overthrew the monarchy of Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. After returning from exile in February 1979, he became the first supreme leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Khomeini established a system of government based on the principle of Velayat-e-Faqih, guardianship of the Islamic jurist, giving significant authority to the supreme leader. His leadership shaped Iran's domestic politics, legal system, and foreign policy for the remainder of his life. Savak. Savak was Iran's intelligence and secret police agency during the reign of Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. It was established in 1957 to gather intelligence, combat espionage, and suppress opposition to the Shah's government. Savak became widely known for monitoring political dissidents and was accused by human rights organizations of arbitrary arrests, torture, and other abuses against prisoners. The organization was abolished after the Iranian Revolution in 1979, when the monarchy was overthrown. Qajar dynasty. The Qajar dynasty ruled Iran from 1789 to 1925. It was founded by Aga Muhammad Khan Qajar, who reunited much of Iran after years of conflict. During the Qajar period, Tehran became the permanent capital of the country. The dynasty faced internal political challenges and lost territory to the Russian Empire through several wars in the 19th century. In 1925, the Qajar dynasty was replaced by the Pahlavi dynasty under Reza Shah Pahlavi. The Elam. The Elam was one of the earliest civilizations in the ancient Near East, flourishing from about 2700 BCE to 539 BCE in what is now southwestern Iran. Its capital was Susa, which became an important political, cultural, and commercial center. The Elamites developed their own language and writing system and frequently interacted and sometimes fought with neighboring Mesopotamian civilizations such as Sumer and Babylonia. One of the best preserved Elamite monuments is the Shoga Zanbil, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, famous for its massive ziggurat. The Persian Revolution. The Persian Constitutional Revolution was a movement that took place in Iran from 1905 to 1911. It sought to limit the power of the Qajar dynasty and establish a constitutional monarchy with an elected parliament. In 1906, Mozaffar ad-Din Shah Qajar approved Iran's first constitution, creating the Islamic Consultative Assembly, then known as the Majlis. Although the revolution faced internal conflicts and foreign intervention, it marked an important step toward representative government and the rule of law in Iran. Nader Shah. Nader Shah was one of Iran's greatest military leaders and the founder of the Afsharid dynasty. He ruled Iran from 1736 to 1747, restoring Persian power after the decline of the Safavid Empire. Nader Shah is best known for his successful military campaigns against the Ottoman Empire, Russia, and the Mughal Empire, including his 1739 capture of Delhi. During that campaign, he took immense treasures, including the famous Peacock Throne and the Koh-i-Noor. Mohammad Mossadegh was the Prime Minister of Iran from 1951 to 1953. He is best known for nationalizing Iran's oil industry, which had previously been controlled by the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company. His policies led to a major international crisis with the United Kingdom and strained relations with other Western governments. In 1953, Mossadegh was removed from power during a coup backed by the intelligence services of the United States and the United Kingdom, after which Mohammad Reza Pahlavi regained greater authority. Iran-Iraq War. The Iran-Iraq War was fought between Iran and Iraq from 1980 to 1988. It began when Iraqi forces under Saddam Hussein invaded Iran, hoping to gain territory and take advantage of the instability following the 1979 Iranian Revolution. The conflict became one of the longest and deadliest conventional wars of the 20th century, causing hundreds of thousands of military and civilian casualties on both sides. Neither country achieved a decisive victory, and the war ended in 1988 with a United Nations brokered ceasefire that largely restored the pre-war border. White Revolution. The White Revolution was a program of economic and social reforms launched by Mohammad Reza Pahlavi in 1963. Its major goals included land reform, expanding education, promoting industrial development, improving infrastructure, and giving women the right to vote. The reforms modernized many parts of Iran and created new opportunities in education and the economy. However, they also faced opposition from some landowners, religious leaders, and others who believed the changes were too rapid or undermined traditional institutions. Persian Oil Company. The Anglo-Persian Oil Company was founded in 1909 after the discovery of oil in Persia, modern-day Iran. It was created to develop oil fields discovered under a concession granted to William Knox D'Arcy. The company later became the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company in 1935 and was eventually renamed BP in 1954. Its control over Iran's oil resources became a major source of political tension, leading Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh to nationalize the oil industry in 1951. Omar Khayyam. Omar Khayyam was a Persian mathematician, astronomer, philosopher, and poet born in Nishapur. He made important contributions to algebra, including methods for solving cubic equations, and helped create the highly accurate Jalali calendar. Khayyam is also world famous for the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, a collection of four-line poems, Rubaiyat, that became especially popular around the world through later English translations. His work influenced both mathematics and Persian literature. Medes. The Medes were an ancient Iranian people who established one of the earliest kingdoms in the region of modern-day Iran during the 7th century BCE. Their capital was Ecbatana. The Medes played a major role in the fall of the Neo-Assyrian Empire by joining forces with the Babylonians to capture Nineveh in 612 BCE. Around 550 BCE, the Median Kingdom was conquered by Cyrus the Great, who incorporated it into the Achaemenid Empire. Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrianism is one of the world's oldest continuously practiced religions, founded by the prophet Zoroaster, likely between 1500 BCE and 1000 BCE, though scholars debate the exact date. It teaches belief in one supreme god, Ahura Mazda, and emphasizes the choice between good and evil through the principle of good thoughts, good words, good deeds. Fire is an important symbol of purity and truth, which is why Zoroastrians worship in fire temples, though they do not worship the fire itself. Zoroastrianism was the state religion of several ancient Persian empires, including the Achaemenid Empire and the Sasanian Empire. Ilkhanate. The Ilkhanate was a Mongol state that ruled much of Persia and neighboring regions from 1256 to 1335. It was founded by Hulagu Khan, a grandson of Genghis Khan. The Ilkhanate was established after the Mongol conquest of the Middle East, including the capture of Baghdad in 1258. Over time, its rulers converted to Islam and supported Persian culture, art, science, and architecture. The Behistun inscription. The Behistun inscription is a massive rock carving and inscription created by Darius I around 520 BCE. It is carved into a cliff near the city of Kermanshah in western Iran and is written in Old Persian, Elamite, and Babylonian cuneiform. The inscription describes Darius's rise to power and his victories over various rebellions after becoming king. Because it contains the same text in 3 languages, it was crucial in helping modern scholars decipher cuneiform writing, much like the Rosetta Stone helped decipher Egyptian hieroglyphs. Avesta. The Avesta is the primary sacred text of Zoroastrianism. It contains hymns, prayers, religious laws, and teachings traditionally associated with Zoroaster. The oldest section, known as the Gathas, is believed to have been composed by Zoroaster himself. The Avesta was written in the Avestan language and preserved through both oral tradition and later manuscripts. It remains the central religious scripture for Zoroastrians around the world. Persian army. The Persian army refers to the military forces of the ancient Persian empires, especially the Achaemenid Empire, Parthian Empire, and Sasanian Empire. Under the Achaemenids, one of the most famous units was the Immortals, an elite force of about 10,000 soldiers whose numbers were constantly maintained. The Persian army included infantry, cavalry, archers, engineers, and troops from many different peoples across the empire. The Parthians became famous for their horse archers and heavily armored cataphract cavalry, while the Sasanians further developed powerful cavalry and military organization. The Battle of Gaugamela. The Battle of Gaugamela was fought on October 1st, 331 BCE, between the army of Alexander the Great and the Achaemenid Empire led by Darius III. Although the Persian army was much larger, Alexander used superior tactics and disciplined troops to win a decisive victory. After the battle, Darius III fled, and Alexander captured key Persian cities, including Babylon, Susa, and Persepolis. The victory effectively ended the Achaemenid Empire as a major power. The Seleucid Empire. The Seleucid Empire was a major Hellenistic kingdom that ruled from 312 BCE to 63 BCE. It was founded by Seleucus the First Nicator, one of Alexander the Great's generals, after Alexander's empire was divided. At its height, the Seleucid Empire stretched from the eastern Mediterranean through Mesopotamia into Persia and parts of Central Asia. The empire promoted Greek culture, while governing many different peoples and traditions. The Buyid Dynasty. The Buyid Dynasty was an Iranian dynasty that ruled parts of Iran and Iraq from 934 to 1062 CE. It was founded by 3 brothers, Ali ibn Buya, Hassan ibn Buya, and Ahmad ibn Buya, who established control over much of the region. The Buyids followed Twelver Shia Islam while governing a population that included both Shia and Sunni Muslims. In 945 CE, They captured Baghdad and ruled in the name of the Abbasid caliphs, who remained as largely ceremonial religious leaders. The Samanid Empire. The Samanid Empire was a Persian empire that ruled Central Asia and parts of Greater Iran from 819 to 999 CE. It was founded by the Samanid family, with Ismail Samani being its most famous ruler. The Samanids promoted the revival of Persian language, literature, and culture after the Arab conquests. Their capitals at Bukhara and Samarkand became important centers of learning, trade, and Islamic scholarship. Hyrcania. Hyrcania was an ancient region located along the southeastern coast of the Caspian Sea, in what is now northern Iran and part of Turkmenistan. It was an important province of the Achaemenid Empire, and later belonged to the Seleucid, Parthian, and Sasanian empires. The region was famous in antiquity for its dense forests, fertile land, and strategic location. Today, the remaining Hyrcanian forests are recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site because of their unique biodiversity and ancient ecosystems. The Kingdom of Mazandaran. The Kingdom of Mazandaran is generally associated with the historical region of Tabaristan, located south of the Caspian Sea in northern Iran. After the Arab conquest of Persia in the 7th century, local Iranian dynasties such as the Bavan dynasty ruled the mountainous region for centuries, preserving many Persian traditions. Because of its rugged terrain, the area remained relatively independent compared with much of the rest of Iran. Mazandaran became known for its forests, fertile land, and strategic location between the Caspian Sea and the Alborz Mountains. Tobacco protest. The tobacco protest was a nationwide protest in Iran during 1891 to 1892. It began after Nasir al-Din Shah Qajar granted a British company a monopoly over the production, sale, and export of Iranian tobacco. Merchants, farmers, religious leaders, and ordinary citizens opposed the concession because they believed it harmed Iran's economy and sovereignty. A famous religious ruling by Mirza Hassan Shirazi led many Iranians to stop using tobacco until the concession was cancelled. Alamut Castle. Alamut Castle is a medieval fortress located in the Alborz Mountains of northern Iran. It was captured in 1090 by Hassan-i-Sabah and became the headquarters of the Nizari Ismaili state. The castle is closely associated with the group that became known in Europe as the Assassins, though many popular stories about them are exaggerated or legendary. In 1256, Mongol forces led by Hulagu Khan captured and destroyed much of the fortress. Persian Soviet Republic. The Persian Socialist Soviet Republic, commonly called the Gilan Soviet Republic, was a short-lived state that existed in northern Iran from 1920 to 1921. It was established in the province of Gilan, with support from the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic and the local Jangal movement led by Mirza Kuchik Khan. The republic sought to introduce socialist reforms while resisting foreign influence and the central Iranian government. Internal disagreements and changing Soviet policies weakened the republic, and Iranian government forces eventually regained control in 1921. The Jangal movement. The Jangal movement was a political and military movement that operated in the forests of Gilan province in northern Iran from 1915 to 1921. It was led by Mirza Kuchik Khan, who sought to resist foreign intervention, government corruption, and political instability in Iran. The movement supported Iranian independence and social reform, attracting nationalists and other reform-minded groups. In 1920, it helped establish the short-lived Persian Socialist Soviet Republic, also known as the Gilan Soviet Republic. Hassan-i-Sabah. Hassan-i-Sabah was a Persian religious and political leader who founded the Nizari Ismaili state in northern Iran. In 1090, he captured Alamut Castle, which became the center of his movement. His followers were known for carrying out targeted political assassinations against rival leaders during the medieval period. In later European writings, they became known as the Assassins, although many legends about them are exaggerated and not supported by historical evidence. Kizilbash. The Kizilbash were a confederation of Turkoman tribes who were the main military supporters of Ismail I and helped establish the Safavid Empire in 1501. Their name, meaning red heads, came from the distinctive red 12-gored hats they wore, symbolizing the 12 imams of Twelver Shia Islam. The Kizilbash formed the core of the Safavid army and played a crucial role in expanding and defending the empire. Over time, later Safavid rulers, especially Abbas the Great, reduced their political influence by creating a more centralized military and government. Babi Revolt. The Babi Revolt was a series of conflicts in Iran during the Qajar period, involving followers of the Babism. The movement was founded by the Bab in 1844, and his followers challenged religious and political authorities of the time. Several armed clashes occurred between Babis and Qajar government forces, including major battles at places such as Sheikh Tabarsi. The government suppressed the movement, and many Babis were killed, including the Bab, who was executed in 1850. Longest internet shutdown. The longest nationwide internet shutdown in modern history is widely recognized as Iran's 2026 internet blackout, which lasted about 88 days before access began to be gradually restored. Internet monitoring organizations, such as NetBlocks, described it as the longest nationwide shutdown on record. Abolition of the monarchy. The monarchy in Iran was abolished during the 1979 Iranian Revolution. The revolution overthrew the rule of Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, the last Shah of Iran. After the revolution, a national referendum established the Islamic Republic of Iran. Ruhollah Khomeini became the country's first supreme leader. Al-Qaeda members are living in Iran. Some senior Al-Qaeda members have spent periods in Iran since the early 2000s, but their exact status has varied over time. Iran has generally described them as being under detention or strict surveillance rather than as free allies. The relationship has been widely described by analysts as pragmatic and hostile rather than cooperative, since Iran's Shia-led government and Al-Qaeda's Sunni extremist ideology have long been ideological rivals. At different times, some Al-Qaeda members were reportedly exchanged in prisoner swaps or left Iran, while others remained under varying degrees of restriction. Robert Levinson. Robert Levinson was an American former FBI agent and private investigator who disappeared on March 9, 2007, while visiting Kish Island in Iran. He had traveled there as part of an unauthorized investigation for the CIA. For years, his family received photos and videos suggesting he was alive, but his whereabouts remained unknown. In 2020, the U.S. government concluded that Levinson had likely died while being held in Iran, although the exact circumstances and date of his death remain unknown. Burnt City. Shar-e-Sukte, meaning burnt city, is an ancient archaeological site in southeastern Iran, dating from about 3200 BCE to 1800 BCE. It was a major Bronze Age urban center known for its advanced society, trade, and craftsmanship. Archaeologists have discovered remarkable artifacts there, including one of the world's earliest examples of an artificial eyeball, an ancient board game, and a decorated pottery bowl that creates the illusion of animation when spun. The city was abandoned after suffering several fires and changes in its environment and economy, giving it the name Burnt City. Giraffe culture. The Giraffe culture was a Bronze Age civilization that flourished in southeastern Iran around 3000 to 2000 BCE. It is centered on the archaeological site of Konar Sandal, near the modern city of Giraffe. The civilization is known for its finely carved chlorite stone vessels, impressive architecture, and evidence of extensive trade with neighboring regions such as Mesopotamia and the Indus Valley. Some archaeologists have suggested that Jiroft may have been one of the earliest major urban civilizations, although many aspects of its history are still being researched and debated. Salt Men of Zanjan. The salt men of Zanjan are naturally preserved, human remains discovered in the Chehrabad salt mine in northwestern Iran. Since 1993, archaeologists have uncovered the remains of several individuals who lived between the Achaemenid period, about 5th century BCE, and the Sasanian period, about 3rd to 7th centuries CE. The salt in the mine naturally mummified their bodies, preserving hair, skin, clothing, leather boots, and personal belongings in remarkable condition. Researchers believe most of the individuals died in mining accidents caused by tunnel collapses. Ganbad-e Caboose is a monumental brick tower located in Golestan province, northern Iran. It was built in 1006 CE by Qaboos ibn Voshmgir as a tomb tower and is one of the tallest all-brick towers in the world, standing about 53 meters, 174 feet, high. The tower is renowned for its elegant cylindrical design topped with a conical roof, making it a masterpiece of early Islamic architecture and engineering. It has survived for more than 1,000 years and demonstrates the advanced brick-building techniques of the medieval Islamic world. Takht-e Soleiman. Takht-e Soleiman is an ancient archaeological complex in northwestern Iran. It was one of the most important religious centers of the Sasanian Empire and contains the ruins of the famous Adur Gushnasp Fire Temple, one of the most sacred Zoroastrian temples. The site is built around a natural lake formed by a spring, which has been considered sacred for centuries. After the Islamic conquest, the site continued to be used and was later expanded by the Ilkhanate, BMAC. The Bactria Margiana archaeological complex, also known as the Oxus civilization, was a Bronze Age civilization that flourished from about 2400 BCE to 1600 BCE in present-day Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, northern Afghanistan, and parts of Tajikistan. Its most important site is Gonur-Depe, where archaeologists have uncovered cities, temples, palaces, and elaborate burials. The BMAC people practiced agriculture, irrigation, metallurgy, and long-distance trade with neighboring civilizations, including Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley civilization, and regions of the Iranian plateau. The civilization produced finely crafted metalwork, seals, jewelry, and distinctive architecture, reflecting a highly organized society. Choga Zanbil. Choga Zanbil is one of the best preserved ancient ziggurats in the world and is located in southwestern Iran. It was built around 1250 BCE by the Elamite king Untash Napirisha as a religious complex dedicated to the Elamite gods. The site originally had several concentric walls surrounding temples, palaces, and a massive stepped ziggurat. Choga Zanbil is one of the most important surviving monuments of the Elam and provides valuable insight into Elamite architecture and religion. Yazd. The Towers of Silence near Yazd are circular stone structures, known as dakmas, that were traditionally used by followers of Zoroastrianism for funerary practices. In this tradition, the deceased were placed on the towers, so that natural processes could occur, reflecting the belief that earth, fire, and water should not be polluted by human remains. This practice was intended to preserve the purity of the natural elements, which are considered sacred in Zoroastrianism. During the 20th century, this method of burial largely ended in Iran because of legal changes and evolving funeral customs. Lut Desert. The Lut Desert, Dasht-e-Lut, is a vast desert in southeastern Iran and is one of the hottest places ever recorded on Earth based on satellite measurements of land surface temperature. It is famous for its dramatic kaluts, large wind-carved rock formations, enormous sand dunes, and expansive salt plains. Despite its harsh climate, The desert contains unique geological features, shaped by wind and erosion over thousands of years. In 2016, the Lut Desert became Iran's first natural UNESCO World Heritage Site because of its exceptional geological significance. The Temple of Anahita. The Temple of Anahita is an ancient archaeological site located in Kangavar, western Iran. It is traditionally associated with Zoroastrianism and the goddess Anahita, who was revered as the deity of water, fertility, and wisdom in ancient Iran. The monument was likely constructed during the Parthian or Sasanian period, although scholars continue to debate its exact date and original purpose. The site features a massive stone platform, grand stairways, and impressive columns, making it one of Iran's largest ancient stone structures. Abul Hassan Banisadr. Abul Hassan Banisadr was the first president of the Islamic Republic of Iran, serving from 1980 to 1981 after the 1979 Iranian Revolution. He was elected by popular vote and initially worked closely with Ruhollah Khomeini. During the early stages of the Iran-Iraq War, Banisadr also served as commander-in-chief of Iran's armed forces. Political disagreements with Iran's clerical leadership led to his impeachment by Parliament in 1981, after which he fled to France. The Simurgh. The Simurgh is a legendary bird in Persian mythology that symbolizes wisdom, healing, and protection. It appears prominently in the Shahnameh, where it rescues and raises the abandoned hero, Zal. Later, the Simurgh helps Zal's son, Rostam, by providing guidance and magical assistance during important moments. In Persian literature and Sufi tradition, the Simurgh also represents spiritual enlightenment and the search for truth, the Magi mysteries. The mysteries of the Magi refer to the historical, geographical, and symbolic unknowns surrounding the wise men from the East who visited the infant Jesus in the Gospel of Matthew. Though tradition labels them as three kings named Caspar, Melchior, and Balthazar, the biblical text leaves much unsaid. The prison of Zahak. The prison of Zahak is the traditional name for Zendan-e-Soliman, a large volcanic crater in northwestern Iran. According to Persian mythology, it was the prison of the evil king Zahak, although this story is legendary rather than historical. In reality, Zendan-e-Soliman is a geological formation created by an ancient spring and volcanic activity, with steep walls surrounding a dry central basin. Archaeological remains around the crater show that the site was used for religious purposes in ancient times. The Aryan. The Aryan homeland refers to the proposed original homeland of the ancient Indo-Iranians, whose descendants include the early Iranians and Indo-Aryans. Most scholars believe it was located in the Eurasian steppe and nearby parts of Central Asia, rather than in a single place that can be identified with certainty. From this region, Indo-Iranian-speaking peoples gradually migrated southward into the Iran, the Indian subcontinent, and surrounding areas during the second millennium BCE. Archaeological cultures, such as the Bactria-Margiana archaeological complex and the Andronovo culture, are often discussed in research on these migrations. Ctesiphon. Ctesiphon was an ancient city on the Tigris River, near modern-day Baghdad, Iraq. It served as the capital of the Parthian Empire and later the Sasanian Empire, making it one of the most important cities of ancient Persia. The city was famous for the massive Tak-Kasra, Arch of Ctesiphon, one of the largest single-span brick arches ever built. In 637 CE, Ctesiphon was captured by the armies of the Rashidun Caliphate during the Muslim conquest of Persia. Ancient Persia flying machine. The idea of an ancient Persia flying machine comes mostly from mythology and legends, not from confirmed historical inventions. In Persian stories, the legendary King Jamshid is sometimes described as having a magical throne that could carry him through the air, and later Persian folklore includes tales of flying carpets. These stories appear in works such as the Shahnameh and other Persian legends, where magical objects represent power, wisdom, or divine favor. Archaeologists have not found evidence that ancient Persians built real aircraft or flying machines. Operation Eagle Claw. Operation Eagle Claw was a U.S. military mission launched on April 24th to 25th, 1980, to rescue 52 American hostages held in Tehran after the Iran hostage crisis. The operation involved helicopters and transport aircraft meeting at a remote site in Iran known as Desert One. Mechanical failures and a severe dust storm reduced the number of operational helicopters below the minimum required to continue the mission, so it was aborted. During the withdrawal, a helicopter collided with a U.S. Air Force C-130 transport aircraft, causing an explosion that killed 8 U.S. service members. After 9/11, Khamenei wanted to make peace with the U.S., but changed his mind. After the September 11th, 2001 attacks, Ali Khamenei publicly condemned the attacks, and Iran quietly cooperated with the United States against the Taliban in Afghanistan. During this period, there were discussions within Iran about improving relations with the U.S., but no formal agreement was reached. Relations deteriorated after U.S. President George W. Bush included Iran in the Axis of Evil speech in January 2002. Iranian leaders viewed the speech as evidence that the United States remained hostile despite limited cooperation. Islamic Ummah. The Islamic Ummah refers to the worldwide community of Muslims united by their shared faith in Islam, regardless of nationality, ethnicity, or language. The concept originates from the Quran and emphasizes the ideals of unity, mutual support, and brotherhood among Muslims. Historically, the Ummah developed during the lifetime of Muhammad, who established the first Muslim community in Medina. Today, the Ummah includes Muslims from every continent and represents one of the world's largest religious communities. Emblem of Iran. The emblem of Iran was adopted in 1980, following the 1979 Iranian Revolution. It was designed by Hamid Nadimi. The emblem is a stylized representation of the Arabic word Allah and is also said to resemble a tulip, a symbol associated in Iranian tradition with those who die for their country. It consists of 4 crescents and a sword arranged in a symmetrical design. And that was the end of Iran. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time for Nepal. Goodbye.